And welcome to the next episode. Today, we are going to putting our tower to use. We built this a while back. I sort of built this all off camera, and it's just sort of been sitting here. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with the inside of this yet, but I kind of have an idea now what we're going to do with this. So, since we had our community dragon fight, we've got more and more people that are picking up the Elytras, finding them in the end cities. And this is our tallest point. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to build a Minecraft elevator in here. It's going to go up to a platform most of the way up. That's going to open up in all four directions up there. And then what we'll do is use that as a spot for people to jump off from with the Elytras and so forth. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the minecart elevators before, but I will walk you through the first couple of floors with it. There's not that many in there, probably maybe 4 or 5. Walk you through that, but I need to gather up some supplies first. So let me do that and sort of prep the area in here, kind of figure out what I'm going to do as far as the starting floor. I think I'm going to use a slime block down here to fall on, in case anybody has a mishap up there. But I do want to make sure that with the mine carts that they are blocked in as good as possible, so that we don't get them knocked off and so on. So let me figure out what I'm doing with this. And gather up the supplies for that, and then we will get this started. Alright, and welcome back. So I kind of got an idea going, and I get additional things. Most of our ceilings in these houses are done in dark oak, and yeah, I saw some, but I think overall I'm going to need more than that. Our ceilings are done in the buildings above in the dark oak, so we're going to do that. But I'm also going to take some spruce just in case, and help too. So I kind of got the first pass laid in for this, just as an idea, and we'll build the first layer or so of this up above this. So I think I'm going to do this kind of look. I think I'm going to do torches. I wonder how this is going to look. So we'll take that one out. I'm going to put a glowstone in it. Trapdoor there. Not bad. I can live with that. I can also probably take out some of the torches on the other side there. And then this is where we need to do our dark oak. So it's the same level as this. I think... that's the problem. I'm not really sure what I want to do with the rest of this up there. So I'm going to save that here for a second. But let's build the first level of this. Of this minecart elevator. So let's use that. So what you do is every 4 blocks is where we put our trapdoors. So Ender Pro skills. Alright, so what we want to do is put down trapdoor right here first. Oh, not there. Right there. Okay. And then on top of that, we're going to put down a block. This is where we stack our mine carts. So what I'm going to do is put one item here, another one here. You'll see that here in just a second. Take advantage of that. All right, so what we do is, so you have to, in order to place a minecart, you can't just put a minecart down on anything. You have to put it on track. So that's what that does. And then what we're gonna do, take that block out. It's gonna release the track, knock that down, right? So now that is sitting on that trap door, right? Close that trap door, and it's still sitting there. Okay. And this is why I wasn't really sure how far down I wanted this dark oak to go, but I think I may want to just throw some oak on here just to show it. It'll probably be something different when I'm done with it. Something down like that, or maybe even a little bit lower. So you kind of hide that there, some stairs or something. I'll come back and figure something out there. But what you do is now that you've got the trapdoor there, you can reach the minecart and sit in it, right? And that's how that works. So now I'm up to this next level. Hop out of it. Whoops. And I went all the way down. But you hop out of it, and the way that they work is every 4 of these is where you want to put the trapdoor and the minecart. So 2, 4. Okay. Trapdoor. Block. Get our rail. This would be where we put our minecart. The way I'm getting out of this is as I happen to know where the trapdoor is out, and when you're sitting in a minecart, if you hit shift, you get out of it, right? What the trick is you get into it and you move in the direction of the trapdoor. Get out of it, and it'll bounce you out of it. Normally you'll get sitting on the trapdoor, especially after I finish filling in all this other stuff. So up, so out. Piece. All right, so we put our part down. Take out that block below it. There's our track. Open up. Shift there. Open up that trap door. Should be good to go. So, I come along here. Oh, too high. Oh, fail. Cheat. All right. And now we can just drop down between the two of them, land on the slime block, and walk right out of there. So let me keep building this up, and I'll come back here. I'll leave this back until I get this whole tower built up there. So let me get that built up, and then I will be back here in a bit. All right, and welcome back. So I've got this done here. It only cost me a few shins as I was falling down, and I did some really strange things. For example, I forgot to open some of the trapdoors, so I decided I was going to make a quick drop to the bottom, and I hit a trapdoor. All the way up here. And I sort of laid this out, this floor out. You can see where we're at there. We're right there near the top of the tower. The wood roof here, this dark oak, is where it sort of triangles up. In fact, down to the bottom here. Look out for the top. So the dark oak starts right up in that area. So we're probably sitting down. Should be good enough to get a good jump off, just to get started with the Elytras. That way they know they've got somewhere safe to go. They can get off instead of trying to ender pearl or jump out of the water off of the bridge over there. Oh, let me go show you the bridge real quick. Confusion, sort of as we go along. I'll change subjects, but this is what we did with the bridge. Kind of okay with it now. Had some people come over and take a look at it, and what their suggestion was it needed some shape to it from the side. So what we did is about the halfway point, we had it started sloping down, and I think that kind of helps it a little bit. I don't think it needs any of the rails necessarily. What I am going to do is down here at the bottom, I'm going to replicate this, which I think looks good just from on the ends as you're starting out on the bridge, and sort of focuses it in. But this part of it in here, I think I'm going to leave it open. I think that's going to be okay. Unless I see some suggestions that sort of say, hey, go try this or try that. But that's what we've got there. Moved it down, put the vines back in there. They've been growing pretty good for us. I'm going to probably cut some of them shorter. Just haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop into my creative world over here and see what I can figure out I want to do for the exits and so forth on there. So let me go do that here for a second, and then I will come back and show you what I got going. So I will catch you after the cut. And welcome back. So I've got the first chunk of the project done, with the elevator being finished up here. This is the decor I'm going with, the dark oak here, and then the regular oak, which is kind of the offset color I've done for like the benches and the jump up here and off at the top here. So we've got is the stone spruce, some of the glass panes and so forth. So I think that's what I'm going to do for up here. And then it's pretty easy to just sort of jump off and leave the base and wherever you want to go. The next thing I want to do is that one of the things when you're traveling is you always want to seem to have an ender pearl. So what I want to do is I'm going to set up basically an ender pearl, and set up. It's called a burnout torch. Now let me just give you an example of the way that this works. So what I want to do is this right here is torch burn it, and hear them fire and that sizzle at the end. So my goal is to set this. What this does is that clicks exactly 8 times. Here. 32 there. So whenever this torch gets updated, string them. What happens is it'll activate and burn out, and these torches will fire just like that. So if I come over here, I've got 16, and that happens to be an exact amount for the ender pearls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these loaded in here in some configuration. Not 100% sure on how I want to make this look, but this is generally what I want to do. I may have a button come up instead of this string, because right now if I just walk over this string, it shoots off on. But that's just one way to activate this particular particular device. I can put a button here that'll update this of some kind, and this torch doesn't have to necessarily be here. You just need the torch, the block, and then the redstone in this general configuration to fire off these droppers. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna put a wall in here somewhere. Figure that out, and then I will get back to you here in a bit once I figure out how I'm gonna lay this in. All right, so this is what I think I'm gonna do with this this place here. I may put a spruce beam set of logs right here, depending on what it looks like. This is the setup I'm gonna do, and it works. I was playing with this. This isn't quite 100% done, because what happens is that when I power that, it fires off the top blocker, or the top dropper here. But I may end up replacing this with like a piston, put the button a little bit further off of over there. But I do have the stairs sitting on top of there, sort of to hide them. Go. And it does work, kind of. It's missing just the one. So what's happening is that the way that I have this set up isn't quite 100% right. This one fires correctly with shooting out the 8. This one only fires a 7. So I need to play with this a little bit and figure this out. I know as soon as I pop this torch, it does correctly fire all of them. Sorry, all 16. So what I may end up doing is moving the button up one and putting a piston on there that just drops. Because really all I need to do in order to get this to fire is update this block, and I can just... Here? Right there. So I could put the button on this side, piston, have the piston drop down here, and it'll update that and force it to fire out the rolls. Should be easy to do. If I do that, that's going to be a little more difficult. Because I was hoping to use this side over here to do it from there too. This side of the dropper for hoppers, so that I can just put a couple chests back here and load this up. I haven't seen what it looks like here. I want to kind of do that. I mean, I know I'm going to have some chests in here. I don't want to put a door in there. I may put an iron door or something right there, but sort of get this back. I may take these windows out and make this a solid room. May leave it. Don't know yet. Haven't figured that part of it out yet. But that's going to kind of what it's going to look like. So then come in here. Oh, I'm going to take the elytra up. But, you know, you always want to have your ender pearls. Push button. Oh, it's not set up yet. Get this to fire off. Have a stack of ender pearls ready to go. Walk over here and up you go. Oops. That was good. And that's the only problem with having a minecart elevator without another minecart to get into up here. Sometimes you fall, but it's not a huge distance down. I got the slime block at the bottom. Shouldn't be a problem. So let me finish up and sort out the details down below on how I'm going to get this to work. But I kind of like this wall idea. This will give me a place to store a bunch of ender pearls. I'll have a bunch of chests in here. Probably go grab a whole bunch of extra ender pearls to work with. So let me get this all finished, and once I have it a finished product, I'll bring you guys back. All right, welcome back here. So this is what I decided to go with, and I did decide to pull out these windows. Wall back in. This is what we got. I'll put a sign right here. But what that does is we get that button. that updates this redstone and just extends this piston into this block right here. Now I also had to put this block in here to cut this power, make sure that this didn't get updated. And I've got this loaded up, so I don't have any. Clear out my inventory real quick. See what it does. There we go. 16 of them. Again. They shoot everywhere. Another 16 of them. So that looks like it's working. And what I figure I want to do is I'm just going to seal up that wall. Figure what I'm going to do for lighting in. I'm not going to do anything fancy. I don't think trying to do that. I think, you know, I think a spruce right here would look really good. I'm going to put that in there. Sort of square it up to this piece right here. Some symmetry. Sort of a specifically ended wall kind of thing. But I am going to leave this all, take out the windows and leave it exposed. I think it's going to make the outside. I haven't looked at it. You saw me taking the windows out. Kind of leaves a little blank on this end of the building. Just means I'll put up some more bushes and so forth around to sort of seal this in. But yeah, the way that redstone had to work, it didn't make for the most. So let me get the rest of this ender pearl storage put in place. Get the logs put in here. Sure my lighting is done. Let me finish up this room, finish up this little project, and then back with you here after a bit. All right, and welcome back. So I think I've got everything done over here for our sort of our takeoff area. Added some carpets in here. Got our ender pearl banner up here to indicate rather than a sign. Kind of nice. So our ender pearls. I also added some in-flight snacks. Got some cookies. Got some chicken, some fish and chips. And anybody that they need to pick up some extra food on their way up. This is the kind of things that we need here before we take off. And then up to our launch tower up here. So that is going to be it for this episode. As always, your feedback is greatly appreciated, and definitely would like to hear what's going on with this. So you can find me on Twitter at @awanderingnerd. If you like the episode, please definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. So, till next time, this is A Wandering Nerd. As always, you can find me on Twitter, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Next time, The Wandering Nerd. Fail.